Hey guys, this is Thomas. I'm an idol of millions. That's Sam Millions. He owns the laundromat down the street. Um, that's that's a joke for that Stan Lee gave us in a comic book a long while back that I thought I would share with you guys. Hey Mike.
Hey, Tom. Good to hear. I love it. It's always appropriate to bring up Stan Lee and his incredible impact and our enjoyment to his property
Mhm.
nowadays. At least the spirit of
Yep.
it for the most
Yep.
part. But yeah,
Yep.
no, that's awesome, awesome. Yeah, this is the first to
Yeah.
last the nerddom, and
Hmm. And this is our grab bag, which we're going to focus on San Diego Comic Con. We had a lot of stuff that dropped on us, and that we're going to kind of focus on the stuff that kind of tickled our fancy. And if we missed something, go ahead and hit in the comments down below what you thought was cool that we missed, because there's quite a few stuff that we probably did miss, because there was like the one of the channels I watch that I mentioned in our channel is Man Cave Collectibles. He focused on a lot of the action figures that dropped on the Comic Con during that, and a lot of cool stuff that we won't kind of hit here because we're just we're kind of filthy casuals when it comes to the action figure scene.
yeah. My brother-in-law is a little bit more artistic than I am, and he likes to get some of those and then paint them and reconfigure them and do things like that. It's really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I was
And
watching. Yeah, I was watching one channel where they took the latest like Buzz Lightyear for from the new movie, and they took like the action figure for just the just average action figure for that, and they got off Amazon and like just kind of redid the whole action figure, and kind of did a DIY kind of version of it to make it look like the actual figure from the movie, and he did like an incredible job. I was like totally impressed. But yeah, during the stuff, Man Cave Collectibles mentioned that they're going to come out with a series of um, from NECA. There's going to be some action figures for the Last Samurai, or the
oh,
last Ronin, the last Ronin. I'm sorry, the
all
last
right,
Ronin for
that's
the
awesome.
Ninja Turtles,
Hmm.
that comic book series. And I was like impressed. I was like, I got to get one of those figures. So,
That's awesome. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No, that's cool. Like I want to at some point I'm gonna get into that when life settles down. It's been a very busy week for myself
Oh
and
yeah.
you as well, and that's why we're having
Mhm.
a extra special big version of our grab bag because we're just rolling everything up. And in any case, yeah, I was gonna say there's also like dioramas that you can make and all that kind of thing with epoxy and anyway, I fell into a YouTube rabbit hole and I saw I think I came in from Reddit, but it was this dude who was he made a Dune scene where the
Oh,
Sutter
uh-huh.
car are coming down on their suspensor belts. And like it's like where they quietly go in. It's like where you first are introduced to the Fremen, and they're like doing their little coffee break or whatever, and then they scatter,
Mhm.
and then they kind of hide, and then that's like that scene like where they're coming down. It's like just really cool. Anyway, so
Yeah.
definitely a nerdy thing I want to get into at some point. I think that would be really cool. Just with well, that's the great thing about toys. Or action figures or whatever.
Mhm.
There's probably a little bit more elegant name for it, but toy collecting or whatever you want to call
Mhm.
it, there are avenues for that to where they can back up a lot of money for the
Mhm.
fans. Again,
Mhm.
that's a thing that we kind of go into. But with that being said, to pull us back to center here for the San Diego Comic Con, for the uninitiated, if you're not familiar, this is pretty or used to be or still is Depends, but it's become more corporate-y than it
Mhm.
ever has before. It used to be a lot more organic and homegrown and had that feel in years past. But now it's definitely, it's kind of like how E3 was for the tech giants. That's where they could debut their new whatever, and then have the press come and cover that, and it's like a big thing. And then that kind of died down. But San Diego Comic-Con has essentially become that, but for like the corporations, and they always have a big booth here. But that's for the uninitiated. It's like once a year everybody comes through and they show their big, big projects or whatever, or their big movies or trailers or whatnot. And we got a whole, good God, we got way more than this show can cover. But what we'll do our best. But there's a lot that came from it. I don't
Mhm.
know about you, but in general, like just before we dive into kind of the inner workings of it and start our show, overall, did you find anything from not to necessarily talk about it right now, but just to kind of pinpoint things that did anything get you excited from the Comic-Con from San Diego at all?
You know what? It was Todd McFarlane, him on
Mm,
Facebook.
okay.
There was an interview that I watched of him it's probably a year or two ago,
Hmm.
where he explained how he handled signings back in the day when he would go to comic book conventions.
Hmm.
He said that he would skip all his his breaks, and so that he was always there. He would always be there. So like if the other guy was off on going to the bathroom or going for lunch or whatever, if their fans were like lining up for that guy
Hmm.
and he wasn't there, he was like, oh, come over here, let me talk to you. And he would get different fans over, and he would talk to them, he would sign things, he would interact with the fans and everything. And he was always about the fans and always about what they were excited about, and he would talk to them, and would he would get them excited about things, and then kind of lead them towards what he was doing. And
Okay.
while he was at Comic-Con this past weekend, I saw that energy that he kind of mentioned back in the day, getting kind of stoked. Then he'd run around to all the other theaters, get pictures taken. He was always like getting people excited about what was going on with Spawn and everything Spawn related. And I was kind of excited to each day to kind of look at his page, what he was up to. And I think one of the big things that came out of Comic-Con was that he's going to do like a Batman Spawn a crossover with and he kind of announced it with Jim Lee. I think I gave you a link. I'm sorry if I'm
Oh,
jumping
you're good.
ahead on that.
N- n-
But yeah,
which one?
there's like a Jim Lee Spawn,
Oh, yep,
Tom
right there. Boom.
McFarlane. Yeah. But yeah, they're gonna do something together. Um, I think that's something
That's
a
the
little
other one.
different. Yeah.
Jim Lee. I don't know. Well,
We're
in the
getting
meantime, you keep talking
yeah.
about it, and I'll pull it up here in the background. Apparently, that's one we missed. Of course, it
Yeah.
would be like that, right? Anyway.
Of course. But yeah, there's like a Spawn crossover with Batman that was announced that I think
I found it.
I Greg Capullo is going to do the art for that yeah, that's it. They're going to do a kind of a Spawn Batman crossover, which has been done before. But yeah, they're going to do this sure at the end of the year. And this is Todd McFarlane's been doing this all year long. I think started last year, where he's doing sort of like a Spawn universe thing, where he's sort of like spinning Spawn up into various characters in a universe of Spawn. And this is just sort of a a piece in that puzzle that he's kind of putting together. That this really is really exciting. A lot of excitement about the Spawn franchise. And, he just knows how to. He's sort of like that kind of circus barker that that kind of is able to
Yeah.
inspire that excitement about a series that just inherently is exciting in its in of itself, and he's able to kind of make everybody excited about what's going on with it.
Yeah, just the artwork alone and the prospect of this sounds really cool. It sounds very cool. All right, December 13th.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna remember that Batman Spawn. Oh God, that's gonna be. I really hope that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, and just I was never really a big Todd McFarlane fan. I was never like really huge into his artwork or whatever, but recently over the past couple of years, I've just been kind of reading and watching some of his interviews, and it's just like he's just like an inspiring person in that what he tries to do, and how he goes about how he does things. It's really inspiring.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. And with that, what's the next item that you had to cover?
Oh, actually, I think I'll go off on another tangent
Oh,
that
here
you
we
may
go,
not.
soapbox.
Yeah.
Do it.
um, Kevin Smith.
Okay. Oh,
He's
I think I know where you're going with this, but go ahead, go on.
he's sort of like one of those guys that over the years that everybody loves, that was always the darling for everything. He's sort of like the typical the typical nerd guy that everybody kind of aspires to be, and then he's over the years has kind of attained the image of the anti the anti fan. There's the last iteration of He-Man that he that he kind of introduced to us was yeah, he kind of I was never a He-Man fan, but with his headed version of He-Man, he said that it was going to be focused on He-Man. It was all about He-Man, and then
Right.
the first season, they killed off He-Man, and evidently the first episode, and he was out of it until the last episode, and there's a new season of it that's supposed to be coming out soon, where he says, "Oh, He-Man's going to be in the whole season," which I kind of believe because that's probably what Netflix told him. Like, you better have He-Man in this season. But
Yeah, yeah, this is what it came across my feed here, and this isn't my feed, but I just did a generic search, but this is like where I
right.
know where you're going exactly with that thing. Yeah, he I will say this, Clerks, awesome movie.
Mhm.
Everybody, that's a cult, if not cultural phenomenon, and has been forever. Dogma was too when it came out. It was like they could do no wrong, but it was also cool and smaller, and then I'll even extend it out. I'm not going to get into whether this is good or that is good, but for me personally, holy crap, I just saw a fox walk across my front yard. Sorry,
Oh.
that was very surprising. That's crazy. Anyway, Mother Nature. Man, where's my dog? Okay, cool. Sorry, I just want to make sure my puppy, because she's a lover, not a fighter. But in any case, going back, Clerks 2, I thought was funny as hell, in its own way, but
Yeah.
yeah, like, and then the kind of was like a given that he was, his opinion is he's essentially a fan that made it big, and he's had a lot of love over the years, but like, holy crap, I don't know that I would go out on a thing and say that it's 100% deserved or whatever, but there's a lot of unhappy people because I mean, if you say something is going to happen and then it doesn't happen or doesn't materialize to the fans, like, I think most people would be cool, but it just got handled very badly. And this is like steps from that, because like they did a season 1 and a season 2 or whatever. It's 0.5 season. I don't know whatever the hell they did. I didn't watch it, but yeah,
Right.
I like you. I'm probably more of a GI Joe fan if we're gonna get into like toys in the show
Yeah.
or whatever. Way more than I am a He-Man fan, but I still grew up where, you know,
Yeah.
if you had the dough to buy, you know, the Castle Grayskull play set and have all the figures, like me, and you were not
Yeah.
rich, but you were, you know, you had money or whatever. But because I remember like
Yeah.
being able to get 1 or 2, but you know, like growing up,
Yeah.
that was a thing. Like there's always that kid that had everything or whatever, I guess, on every block, but or every other block. But anyway,
Yeah. Not to dox myself, but Kevin Smith we're both like within months of the same age. So
okay,
like and then like when they first announced that he was doing He-Man, like myself, he said that he was a little older than like the average He-Man fan, and
right,
that wasn't his jam at the time. So but then when he was actually doing He-Man, he was like, oh yeah, I'm all about He-Man. So it's like he kind of kind of flopped as far as uh what his interests were as far as what fandom he's kind of leaning into.
yeah,
And like you said, I was always sort of a Kevin Smith fan,
hmm,
because like when he was making movies, it was like, oh wow, you know, I'm kind of like him. I could actually do something like what he's doing. You know, a fan doing a movie, that could be me. So a lot of people kind of live vicariously through Kevin Smith,
right, right,
in that sense, in that, oh well, a man making it right. And then throughout the throughout the years and throughout the movies, he's kind of lost his his love, while his movies kind of degenerated, like that last Silent Bob and Jay and Silent Bob movie. That was a horrendous movie. I hated that
I did.
movie. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't catch it. It honestly, it never popped up on my radar you know, to put a pin in and see later even. I just kind of
Mhm,
didn't. I didn't, no love or hate. I just didn't, you know, think I like Kevin Smith, but I'm like, I'm not going to go out and seek Kevin Smith. That era is long gone, as
mhm,
far as I'm concerned.
yeah.
And not to current events. That has nothing to do with that. It's just, you know, like I honestly didn't know anything about the He-Man series at all. Like when this whole
Mhm,
thing kind of came out, I just kind of knew about it like after it kind of came out, and it kind of popped up as like so in YouTube, like with everything, like Facebook or TikTok or whatever. There's like these even the mainstream media and on your nightly news or whatever, like in the news cycle, there are certain things that will kind of pop up in your feed, I guess, that everybody's
mhm,
talking about. And then I only knew it from that point of view. And then I was like, oh, that's cool. And then but I didn't really have any desire. And again, it's not love or hate. It's just like, I was probably into something else, or something else had my attention to,
yeah.
you know, really care about watching, you know, old He-Man. And then I kind of, I waited for the normies to absorb it, and nobody really talked about it for longer than that.
Yeah, and I think we're both in agreement that we're not a anti-woke channel. We're
No,
about what's good. So if you're gonna do a He-Man
yeah,
series, you want to focus on He-Man.
right, right,
The series, at least the first season of the series, should be about He-Man. It shouldn't
right,
be about the ancillary characters,
right.
which
And
it
spoiler,
seems like, yeah.
yeah, and
Uh-huh.
spoiler, there was certain things that were promised for this little mini drama that we're covering, and they didn't materialize. and it
Mhm.
is what it is. If the
Mhm.
fans don't, that kind of goes. I agree. Like we're not, we don't care about any of that crap. We just want to see good content, good stories,
Mhm.
and when possible, like absolutely boost up. You know, folks that we try to. I try to. I'm the note taker, or responsible for the
Mhm.
notes and the description. And when we talk about a specific creator, I really like to highlight that and make sure that that's covered in depth, because I think
Mhm.
that's really important to recognize those people and boost them as much as possible, so they get more work and they create more awesome stuff. And even the new people, the unknowns, we've covered several people that are unknown, and try to boost them like where we can, like, hey, maybe check this person out as far as that goes. But
Mhm.
yeah, anyway, sorry, I didn't mean I jump on your on your train there, but
Oh yeah, no, no, no. Yeah, I think you uh eloquently said what I was gonna say. But yeah, it's like but yeah, so the new season of He-Man, maybe it's gonna be great that Kevin Smith is doing,
right.
but who knows? And then he has the third movie of the Clerks 3 that's coming out. I don't know if I gave a link on
Oh,
that, but
interesting.
yeah,
I didn't
that's
know that
supposed
was
to be,
gonna
yeah.
happen. Okay.
Yeah, it's coming out in the next month or so. I think it's going to be kind of roll out with special premieres with Kevin Smith doing them.
Hmm.
But with I think you said that you enjoyed Clerks 2, which I enjoyed to a certain extent, but
Hmm.
Clerks 2 kind of seemed kind of sad that the guys that were my age that were still working in a fast food restaurant
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
at,
yeah.
my age that was at that time. And now I think the third movie is gonna from the trailer shows that they're back to working at a convenience store, and one of them decides
Okay.
to make a
Okay.
movie
All
kind of
right.
like
Yep.
Kevin Smith. Yeah.
All right. I okay. I have seen that. I have seen that trailer.
Mhm.
And I think I've seen most of it. But yeah, no, I know where you're going. Or
Mhm.
I know what you're talking about anyway. But
Mhm.
yeah, that's you know, and again, I don't really remember the plot. I remember what it was that made it so endearing to me was like there was like two or three or four comedy
Mhm.
skits that they did that were, oh my God, like just pardon my, just fucking hilarious. Like
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
it was a scene about like somebody getting sick and thrown up or something. I can't remember, but it was just like it was just so over that it was perfectly
Mhm.
done. Like, and that's what I really remember of like it just I
Mhm.
just remember being really funny. Like I don't remember
Yeah.
jack shit about the plot
Mhm.
or whatever. And that was a long time ago. But and I didn't even see it when it first came out. I saw it like years later, you know, like when I think the person I was dating at the time was like, "Hey, check this out," you know,
Yeah.
or liked it, and it had just recently came out. So like, I got sucked in again from a fan. I got sucked
Mhm.
in from a fan. So it's the fans that drive these things, are that help
Mhm.
drive them to be that bridge to everybody else, you know. And it's just kind of telling. But it is interesting with that. But anything else to cover about Mr. Smith?
I think it leads into one of the articles. I think
Okay.
with William Shatner. I think he
Okay.
did
Oh,
did
oh, cool.
a thing with Kevin Smith, and he said that the new Star Trek was a pile of crap. Gene Roddenberry would be spinning in his grave over, I guess, from I guess what he would have been talking about was Discovery and Picard.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That was he just talking about Discovery, Star Trek Discovery, and Picard, and not Strange New Worlds or whatever, or was he just talking
I
about the whole
he
thing?
didn't mention specifically, but yeah, he yeah, his direct quote for Star Wars, F Star Wars, but not Mark Hamill. And then I think they asked him about the new Star Trek, and he said, with the new Star Trek, Gene Roddenberry would be rolling in his grave. But I think I don't think he'd seen Strange New Worlds. I
Okay.
think it would have been everything previous to that.
Yeah, you know, I
uh,
gotta say, I gotta back up my man Shackner here. You know, we kind of just had a little bit of chit chat before we started the show about him, just in general. And my opinion is that he's right. If it's limited to Star Trek Discovery and Picard, he's right on the money. It's true. It's true. And that's coming from a diehard Trekkie who has seen every movie, every friggin' episode of every friggin' series, up to this point. Well, up to season 2, maybe, like the first 3 episodes of season 2 for Discovery, and then I just couldn't. And then I watched like a little bit of Picard. I heard Picard season 1's okay, but season 2 is just fucking bonkers. Like it's not even like Star Trek at that point. Like, but anyway, like I agree with him. Like but now the caveat being, I think they learned their lessons. Kurtzman and his folks, they learned their lessons, and they knew they couldn't do that anymore. And Strange New Worlds is a complete 180 opposite, for sure. Like it's
yeah.
Star Trek through and through, and I'll stand and I wouldn't say defend it, but I would definitely testify the fact that it's good entertainment. And I think it does justice to the Star Trek name, and it is Star Trek, so that's good. But yeah, I mean, he's an opinionated guy. He's also like 90 something too. He's really old.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I was kind of surprised at how old he was, but then I was like, okay, well that makes sense that he's
right.
that old. He's been around forever. So but yeah, yeah, you could say, well, he's an old guy. He doesn't he is old, and he's kind of set in his ways, but so are we to, to some
I
extent.
I don't think I always enjoy. He's kind of painted as a certain brush in the media sometimes, or for
Mhm.
the Trek faithful, and some are kind of like they always accept him. Like they kind of have the attitude of like, oh well, he's always Captain Kirk, so he can do no wrong, But we'll
Mhm.
just ignore anything he says is ignorant or something we disagree with or whatever. But
Mhm.
anytime you get a chance to see it, uncut, unfiltered interview with him, it's really good. He did. I saw an interview with him on Bill Maher's podcast, Club Random or something, and it was
Mhm.
pretty good. You could tell there was an age difference between them, even, and I think Bill Maher's like 60 something, and William Shatner's like 90. So it was interesting. But
Mhm.
I caught that and I fell into it, but yeah, he did say that, and it made headlines, and we're talking about
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and to be honest, I love watching interviews with older people
mm,
because they're not jaded, they're not trying to stay in step with what the Hollywood big heads dictate, so that
mhm,
they're just saying what they feel, and that's always what's interest to me.
mhm,
I was always of the punk. I always loved the punk scene. I always loved people who were always thumbing their finger at the authority and saying what they feel. So Shatner has that sort of spirit to himself, and there's like that one scene where I think uh where Shatner kisses Uhura, and there's he sort of made sure that the scene they kind of did it twice, to where he didn't kiss Uhura, but
mm,
he made sure his eyes crossed in that particular edit of the scene, so that they had to use the scene where he kissed Uhura
okay,
to make sure that scene actually made it into the series.
right,
Uh,
right on.
so yeah, he was always sort of a iconoclast that kind of rebelled against what everybody else said. So I always enjoyed him.
Yeah, he has surprisingly common sensibilities, that you would be surprised at when you talk about actors and they're uber rich or whatever, and they're just living in a different um they're
Mhm.
just living in a different earth than we do sometimes, and that's all fine. But he's not like that at all. He's more He's a lot more common, like has a lot more common sensibilities than you would imagine. And I can't help but mention, I remember like probably like this year or last, it was I think it was last year, within the last couple of years, he went up in space on Jeff
Oh
Bezos's
yeah.
thing, and like there was like this kind of this not quite memeified, but there was like this video of like they were asking, or Jeff Bezos was giving his friggin' speech or whatever, and then he kind of like cues over like on the cue that he like William Shatner was supposed to say something, like it was very awkward, and he's like, like he just kind of like totally was an old man and didn't give a shit. Like
Right.
he's just
Yeah.
like, I'm not gonna what do you want from me? Like I didn't say that I would do this press junket or whatever. Like it kind of felt like it felt like, man, like shove off, dude. Like I just want to
Yeah.
go into space or whatever. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of funny.
I was reading some interview with him where he was talking about that, where basically he said that no matter what was going on with that he was looking out that window the whole entire time. He was just soaking in that experience,
Right.
which makes sense that that you would do that for that experience. And that was all that's all he wanted from it, was seeing the world from that perspective,
Right.
and soaking that in, and having that perspective of the world at that moment. And that's all he wanted from it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, no, it was good. And with that being said, I think you want to transition over to the other Star Trek one announcement.
Yeah, let's do
Perfect segue. Yeah, so what's
Yeah.
going on with this? I am not up on the Lower Decks thing. I am obviously we just finished season 1 of Strange New Worlds and loved it. That's a definite solid recommendation for sure.
Yeah, and Lower Decks, I'm with you. I have not seen Lower Decks. It's a cartoon series that from what I hear does not really relate to Star Trek very much at all. From what I've heard. Like I said, I
Right.
haven't seen it, but evidently in the new season, season 2 of Strange New Worlds, there's going to be crossover with an episode of that series where it's going to be a cartoon, and it's going to relate to it. So
Interesting.
hopefully that's good. I don't have a whole lot of hope for that episode, but
If
the current writers on Strange New Worlds, if they hold up the quality,
yeah.
maybe they make it work. I hope so.
Yeah, I'd be cautious, optimistically cautious for it, but I will say they can, because it's that era. If they were to drop a total fan service appropriately done, like where it's just an ode to the fans, and it's just kind of silly and a little zany and a little campy, as the original series could be, and they lean into it and they hit that angle right, that corner, and they might be able to make it. But I'm not going to search it out. I'll wait and see. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens. I'm going to be looking at it like you probably. I agree, like from the lens of Strange New Worlds, and if it's interesting, then maybe I'll dip a toe into it. But I'm not going to promise. Of course, I do always have the power of the fast forward button as a fan, and I've talked about that. I've used that liberally lately to like kind of just zip past things that I don't really care about. I'm not getting into it. Don't care. I just want to see this one thing, and then boom, I'm there. And that also includes I have no problem cutting out the heart of a series and just jumping into the pool at the tail end of whatever, or
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch 14, 15 hours of show, like 20 hours of shows to get up to like that point. Only going to do that if it's like a really, really good thing, and that's very rare. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
I hope they do. I hope they do well with this.
Yeah, and one of the podcasts I watch, one of the guys, his main point is that streaming shows can get bogged down and the storyline gets muddled, that you really don't have to watch all the episodes of the seasons. He says skip to the 4th episode, and if that 4th episode's good, you can go back and watch the first few, but yeah, that fourth episode probably tells you how good things are.
I
But
like it.
I think this particular thing with the crossover, I'm looking at it positively. So I'm
Sure.
looking at the glass half full. I'm looking at it as Strange New Worlds is surprisingly a hit for the fans,
Hmm.
and they're trying to pull in the fans into their other series. So they're trying to get people interested in Lower Decks. So maybe
Right.
they're tweaking Lower Decks to the other fans and trying to get them interested in that. So if they make that a good series to watch, that's fine, and that's a
Yep.
good crossover episode to where we don't have to watch that first season and just cross over into good episodes. That's always a good thing. If not, that could be like a skippable episode for both Strange New Worlds and Lower Decks, but
Oh,
I,
absolutely.
I hope it's not. I hope it's a good crossover. But yeah, it kind of made me step back a little bit and was like, oh, what are they doing?
Right. Right. Yeah, I could give two shits about what's going on with Picard season 3. I could give two shits about what's going on with Discovery, but we'll see. We'll see. I agree. Absolutely agree with you. Like if it's good and positive, we'll see, and dip a toe into it. But doesn't mean anything. We'll see. We'll see.
Mhm.
Like they've unfortunately, I still will always remember the two strikes, that they did. But I just can't. I'll say this again, and I'll repeat it again. Give Strange New Worlds a shot, and you will not be
Mhm.
disappointed. And just go with it. And understand, like, you kind of got to chuck out canon a little bit. But you know what? When it's done appropriately, canon is built upon when it is in unison with the central theme of the damn thing in general. Like just like Next Generation was. Like I remember there was a talk about why did the Klingons look different, or whatever. That's always kind of been a
Mhm.
thing. But and
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
everybody just kind of accepted it, and
Mhm.
we went on with our lives. But so there's
Mhm.
not like there hasn't been controversy before Star Trek, or whatever. But you know, um, that was when there was still quality. You give the fans something even baseline quality, and we can work with it, and we'll be very forgiving until unless and until you screw up and just
Mhm.
drive it into the friggin' ground, and it's not it's just like whatever. Anyway, go rant over.
Yeah.
But it might as
Yeah.
well bring up jump to Chris Pine.
Oh yeah.
What's this one about?
Yeah, I thought I'd bring this up because he kind of mentioned that he's not sure what's going on with Star Trek
Hmm.
the as far as movies. And I think um for a while there, I think there was sort of a confusion on um the the viability of a Star Trek movie. I think for a while there they were hoping that Quentin Tarantino had a script for a Star Trek movie, and
Heard that rumored.
um yeah, and I think for a little while there that was almost the thing, and then now there's I think another director that's sort of like helming the new one, but they haven't said anything and they haven't made any big plans for it. So I can't say that I'm like super excited about it. I'm more excited about a second season of Strange New Worlds.
Right,
I'd rather
right on.
I'd rather see Pike and Spock in a new episode of Strange New Worlds than a Star Trek movie. That's kind of odd thing to say, because I did enjoy the first three Star Trek movies. Um, I don't know how you felt about them.
I
I don't think we've
you
touched
you know
base on it.
I embrace them with open arms, and I consider them part of the thing. I didn't have any issues with them. They stretched canon a little bit, and you could tell it was like there's some questionability there of like what universe it was in, or some kind of alternative
Right.
timeline or whatever didn't care. That didn't really bother me too much. Now Star Trek Beyond, the third one, I enjoyed it. But and I enjoyed the first one and the second one and the third one as well. But like I'm kind of with you, like where I might catch it. Like, if there was like a cheap theater around, and it was like on that screen, I'd probably jump in there. I might search it out. We'll see, but we'll see. But I didn't have any issues with the newer Star Treks. But the third one, I wasn't as good as I mean, I still enjoyed it, but like, we'll see.
Exactly.
Indeed. But in any case, what would you want to go into next, my friend?
I think we still have a lot of stuff to go into. Let's before we hit Marvel, let's hit Evil Dead.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
always a good thing to hit.
Where did I put Bruce Campbell? Oh, that one. I think we wanted to cover that one first.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a possibility for an animated Evil Dead series. Which
That's cool.
I really enjoyed the actual Ash versus Evil Dead TV series that Stars had, which they canceled after the third season. And then Bruce Campbell at 64 said, "I'm kind of done with being Ash," which makes sense. I mean, he's
It does.
64 years old. Time to retire from it. But yeah, there's a possibility of an animated series, and then he could do the voice for Ash for the animated series. So as long as the animation's pretty decent and they have a good storyline going on, that could be an entertaining series. And
Agreed.
yeah, and with the streaming service, that they're always looking for stuff to plug in there for people to watch.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. That this will be cool to check out for sure. It will be hopefully a nice little surprise. And then, it'll serve the fans well.
Mhm.
There's also some other Bruce Campbell
Mhm.
too as well.
Yeah, the new movie Evil Dead Rise, which they were planning to go straight to HBO Max. They're thinking it do a good theatrical release as well. So
Interesting. Very cool.
they did a reboot of it, the Evil Dead, a few years back, without Bruce Campbell. And I think this is sort of like a sequel to that,
Okay.
or at least a variation of that come out. And yeah, I'm kind of excited about it, just as Sam Raimi and I forget his name. His last name's Tappert. Tappert and Campbell, Bruce Campbell are all Robert Tappert. Yeah, that's his
Okay.
name. Are all kind of involved in it. So yeah. Hopefully the quality's still there, and the fact that studio heads are like, oh, this could go out in the theaters. That kind of leans in the thought that it could be good. So yeah, it's looks like it's maybe be a good movie to see.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, definitely. I do have I do keep I do keep current on my HBO Max subscription more or less, because it has some of those nice treasures that I like and enjoy on the DC side. And there's just I can, even when I think I can't find something, I usually can open up that app, and every once in a blue moon I'll look and I'll see something really good. So kudos to them for keeping it alive and keeping it going for sure.
Yeah, and they've got like quite a few Criterion movies
Yep, it's true.
within the HBO Max things. So it seems to have a higher higher level of quality
Oh God, yeah.
as opposed to quantity.
Yep,
Uh,
yep. They have that, and then they also have Turner Classic Movies as well.
mhm,
So they have a very deep bench for something you want to be entertained by for sure. Like that's why,
mhm,
and that's again, that's kind of like why I love that.
mhm.
I love that because it's not just that; it's a whole bunch of stuff. But they do they're gonna get my money for a while.
Mhm.
Aside from them, Amazon
Yeah.
Prime I always keep that current, because who doesn't have Prime or whatever. But anyway, shame on me for supporting Amazon. Not really. I don't could care less.
Yeah, and
But
I'd
cool.
be kind of curious as far as the movies we've picked for our movie discussions, I think a good portion of those have been HBO
They have
Max
been.
movies that you could watch. So
Yeah.
that kind of tells you also of the quality.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And
Well, and
yeah.
and we won our copyright thing because we
Mhm.
let while we were covering the Batman
Mhm.
that week, we did our show and then they flagged it and then they took it down and unjustified, and then
Mhm.
I blurred that part out and then I re-uploaded it and then they allowed that one, and then I
Mhm.
fought the appeal and it took like a month, something like that. Like it has to, like, you have to like do this back and forth, and then to the point like to where you got to put your real details in, and then be
Mhm.
ready to be served paperwork if they choose to go, because they have to bring it to court or shit or get off the pot at that point. And we played it all the way
Mhm.
through and we won. And I say that we shouldn't have to win. It should just
Mhm.
be like what, let's screw us fans, for like, well, anyway, whatever. I won't get into that,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah,
we
yeah.
still still
So
still will still will follow along and watch more HBO Max stuff, and we'll still cover it here or there. We just have to be careful about showing their content because apparently it's very anti-fan. HBO Max, by
yeah.
the way, it's very anti-fan. Don't
Yeah,
do that.
that's true. And even though we won our strike and everything, we still have that one strike against our channel that stays forever.
Yeah, the
Um,
community guidelines one or whatever.
yeah,
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 yeah, it's just a
yeah. Once
jackass
you
one.
once you get that strike, it's there for.
Yeah.
So yeah. So still no hard feelings. We still like your movies.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, but the YouTube community standards can eat shit, as far as I'm concerned. But that's a
Yeah,
whole other thing. Like, whatever. But anyway,
yeah, yeah.
but that's every other creator on YouTube, on planet YouTube, has that realization at some point, and we had ours. So whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cool. What are we rolling to next?
Let's hit Marvel.
All right, all right. So yeah, Marvel had a big panel, and Disney had a big friggin' panel that they had, Disney Marvel, and this caught your fancy.
Yeah, yeah. The Daredevil evidently showed up in the end of the She-Hulk trailer, which kind of leads
Interesting.
into. They also said that they're going to do a Daredevil series. I think they ordered 16 episodes, which normally there's only 6 episodes a season, but I think it's only going to be in they ordered it for 2024 or 25, something like
Okay.
that. So
All right. All
that's
right.
it's a little ways out, but at least we'll get to see him in She-Hulk. But yeah, and they also talked about the wave 5 and 6. I don't know if I gave you a link to
Like the whole
the
phase, like a
yeah,
timeline or something.
yeah,
Yeah, send it over and
yeah.
I'll pop it up here. But and while you're doing that, I'll cover this a little bit.
Mhm.
Charlie Cox as Daredevil was friggin' unbelievable and amazing. When Netflix had the rights to it. That season 1 of Daredevil is amazing. Season 2 essentially was 2 series in one. It was actually arguably Punisher kind of 0.5, I guess. Because he had a heavy, John Barenthal had a heavy presence on that series or that season, and Charlie Cox did too, but it was still very well done. So I enjoy it. I welcome this with this. I hope that they get some of the original writers from that time period. I hope it's not the new Disney Marvel small screen ones or whatever. I hope they do it justice in any case, because I really don't want to
Yeah.
see this sucked into the undercurrent of it sucks. I just don't.
Mhm.
I because I have a little special place in my heart for this for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
oh, I lost my oh, there we go. Marvel Studios. Yeah, okay. All right. So anyway, not much else to cover for that, but yeah, I saw some of the images of like the newer suit, and I don't have a problem with it.
No, no.
The
Kind of
old suit,
going It's
the
kind of
Netflix suit was
going backwards.
badass anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of going backwards. The whole yellow stuff in the suit was like from the original Daredevil,
Oh,
which they transferred over to the red. So so that, yeah, but there's not much yellow to it, so I don't, yeah, it's whatever.
sure, sure, sure. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna. There's nothing to shit on here, but it's just like something cool
No.
to kind of look forward. I'm not gonna. It's not gonna make me watch the She-Hulk program because I just don't. I just don't feel compelled to. Like, if anything, I'll cheat and I'll like just watch the parts that are relevant to what I care about. If there's buzz or talk about it, then I might, but I'm not gonna go seek it out because why? But anyway,
Yeah.
and with that being said, this pops us up into Marvel. Holy shit, they have like they have a schedule.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a meme that I posted to you in Facebook where they had Kevin Feige as Heisenberg talking to the VFX guys,
Saul
saying,
Goodman.
you're done when you're done when I'm done."
Yeah,
And
you're done when I say you're done.
yeah,
That's
absolutely.
true. That's true.
So yeah, they've got a big schedule ahead of themselves.
Yeah, and
Uh,
to kind of bring a little clarity to what we just talked about, like there was a couple articles that came out from the VFX artists and companies that were contracted out to do a lot of the Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars and all this and that special effects like CGI, and basically it was like pushback of like it's like a sweatshop essentially for like what they
mhm,
do. So like there's been some pushback of like attention getting from them because they want to be paid justly, and they also want to not be just ground into the dirt. But Hollywood has had this problem with like where they undercut the VFX artists, because I remember this is a cyclical thing that will come around so and so. Like it happened for several movies where it's heavy CGI, and it also had some touch on to the video game industry too, to like how big corp pushes its puts their boot on their neck and it just squeezes them out for every drop, and then everybody's so burnt out they don't want anything to do with it, or they don't,
mhm,
or they run out of money or something, and then they just get gobbled up or whatever. But anyway, kind of
mhm.
going into this, what anything on this, I'm not even going to attempt to be accurate or correct with the phase whatever, but phase
Yeah.
5, different things in phase 6, or what are they doing? They're doing
Phase
okay,
5. They're
4,
finishing up.
5, and 6. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. So that's
Yeah.
the official whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, they're finishing up for, I think 4 ends with the Black Panther movie. I think comes out the end of the year. And I watched the trailer for it. It was decent. I don't know what the story
Okay.
is, and it'll be kind of interesting to see what they do with that without the main actor being Black Panther anymore, since he's passed away.
Yeah,
Uh
I did see that trailer, and I couldn't find, but didn't you have a link for Marvel Zombie before I forget about it?
I think so. I think I sent it to
Okay.
you. I don't know if
Yeah,
you've got
you
it
did. So
queued up.
anyway,
Yeah.
go ahead and keep the folks entertained while I go and make sure I don't miss that one.
Yeah, but yeah, with Phase 5, there's the big Ant-Man movie that comes out, which I haven't seen the other previous 2 Ant-Man movies, so I can't really say anything about it. I'm looking forward to Guardian of the Galaxy Volume 3. I'm a big fan of that. I liked the first season of Loki, so I'm looking forward to season 2 of that. I'm kind of interested in Blade and
Okay.
Daredevil I'm looking forward to, but the rest of them, not that interested in. With the Captain America, you've got Falcon as Captain America. Not really interested in that.
Neither
Because
am
of
I.
that series. I watched the series, wasn't that impressed with it. If I'm not impressed with it on the small screen, why am I going to the movies to see a movie with the same characters? I don't understand. There's the Marvels, which is Captain Marvel and the rest of the girls. I'm not really interested in that. Um, I'm kind of interested in Secret Invasion. what's going on there. I did not read that comic book series when it originally came out in the 2000s. But so that could be interesting.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I'll echo you on Blade. And I think the gosh, who was the Blade Marvel actor? Because it's
Wesley Snipes was the original.
yeah,
Yeah,
Marshall Ali is gonna be. I think he's gonna be the
the new one.
yeah, and he as an actor, like he's just friggin' awesome.
Yeah,
I love
yep.
his. He is just he's a fucking
Mhm.
amazing actor. He wasn't. I always kind of talk about it when here or there, but season 2 of True Detective, or season 3, excuse me, season 3 of True Detective, I believe he was the primary guy. He's just fucking great. I just love.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
I have high hopes for that. I definitely am super into that. What's the
Mhm.
other one you said? The Secret Invasion. Well, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know.
See, the big thing about Secret Invasion is you could have a good story there, but who are the characters? I mean, you've got rid of like Robert Downey Jr., his Iron Man's dead,
Yep.
and
And even Thor. And
Captain America's gone. So
yep.
it kind of depends on what superheroes you have involved in that. And
Yep.
if they're not interesting, why are you going to watch this? I don't understand. There's got to be that pool. So if you got Doctor Strange there, sure, I'm going to watch it, but it's going to be on Disney
Mhm.
Plus. Are you going to have your second, third tier superheroes on that? Maybe you don't watch it because it's not going to have interesting characters on it. Who knows?
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
Guardians of like Volume 3 for Guardians, I will definitely keep an eye out for, and at least I definitely watch the trailer and see if it's compelling. And if
mhm.
it's compelling, then I'll definitely go see it in the theater. But um, the other ones, like speaking of like third tier, like I don't even. And shame on me because like I'm not a fan of this, but just because I don't know, I'm ignorant to Ironheart. I don't really have any draw to that. The Thunderbolts, whatever. I think that's getting into the Red Hulk storyline for Hulk. I am familiar with. I think that's what it is, but it's going to be the dad or Red Hulk, maybe She Hulk, and then maybe a cameo or two by regular Hulk.
On which one?
Thunderbolts, maybe. I don't know,
No,
unless that's
no,
completely
Thunderbolt's a completely different thing.
okay.
But yeah,
Fuck me then, because
yeah,
I
yeah,
just wax poetic about some bullshit that isn't anyway. So like, see,
but
that
yeah,
just goes to like the whatever. I don't even care. And Captain America, like, I don't know, maybe it'll be probably
yeah,
not, but we'll
and
see.
Ironheart, Ironheart's a character, a young character, African American character that steals Iron Man's outfit, according
Okay.
to the comic book version of it.
All right. All right.
That steals his outfit and refits it for herself in sort of isn't really a superhero in it, kind of goes out
Okay.
for herself. So it's one of those characters that never hit home for the
Okay.
comic book fans. So
Was the
it's really going to be up to um Disney Plus to sell this character
all
to
right.
the larger audience and the comic book audience. A lot of these characters that they um built their success upon is characters that were a success with comic book fans. A lot of the ones that they're trying to build from now have not been a success with comic book fans that
Right.
they will make into a success. So like the America Chavez from the Doctor Strange new movie, she was never a success for the comic book fan,
Right.
nor was Miss Marvel, which
Right.
had a series just recently. Every time they've launched a new comic book series for her has been not a success. So
Right. And
so there. Mhm.
Yeah, I'll even go and defend to a certain degree, like the America Chavez character. Like I watched the West Coast or not watched, but I read I actually went and read some of the original storylines for that comic book. I think it was West Coast Avengers or something like that, or Defenders.
Yeah,
I
I
think it
think
was
so.
not,
Mhm.
it wasn't West Coast Avengers, it was Defenders. Anyway, it was all right. But does it crack in the top upper echelon of like the golden 5% or 1% or whatever the hell you want to talk about of all comic books? No. I mean, it was all
Yeah,
right, but
yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Totally agree.
Yeah, and it really takes a little bit of something like the design of the character, a little bit of kismet or whatever you want to call it,
Mhm.
to really click with the fan base to really launch a character.
Yeah,
And there's so many comic book characters that just never land with fans,
right.
and
That's
there's
important to highlight too.
there's like a big uphill climb to try to make those characters work that have not worked in the past with fans.
Right.
So I really don't understand their game plan for launching some of these lesser known characters that have never hit with the fans.
Right.
Like they've got so much, they've got some loaded guns in the chamber since they bought Fox. They've got Fantastic Four and
That's so true.
they've got X-Men.
They
They
do.
could
Jesus Christ, they do.
they could just blow things up with those.
No, they
If
could.
they yeah,
Just
if
like they
they
did phase one through whatever the hell is with the Avengers
absolutely.
and building it up. Like, and to your point, and what my point is about, like, I'm not saying that I'm not shitting on it per se. I'm not saying like Ironheart, but I don't know. I have no fucking frame of reference for this character. And what I
Mhm,
meant by like, and I enjoyed going back and watching or watching, reading the Defenders and like getting a feel for the character. It was fine. It was perfectly adequate. And I'll do that with this Ironheart character. More than likely, but sorry, I didn't mean to step on your toes there, but I
mhm.
just wanted to point that out. Like with
Yeah.
Thor and you're fucking right. You're absolutely bang on right. Um, fucking like what's the actor's name? Jim from The Office. He was
Mhm,
he played the Mr. Fantastic
mhm.
in that alternate whatever his
Yeah.
I'm drawing a blank, but anyway, he that
Yeah.
dude, you're right. Like they could totally have a thing
Mhm,
if they were able to like just kind of put the one side of the Marvel house aside for a moment or two, a few seasons, and start transitioning or digging into that. Just because you have all these characters doesn't mean you got to use them. Like maybe there
mhm,
will be a spot like if they did the build up right. Like, because let's be honest, Thor there was never a huge, amazing comic book anyway. That was
mhm.
not a big primary mover of issues.
Mhm.
That wasn't like the
Right.
Avengers were, but like Thor. I'm not saying it sucked or it was like shit. It was good.
Mm,
There was great friggin' storylines for like 60 years for or 50 years for Thor, but
mhm.
yeah, I don't understand why they would choose. What I agree with you, like why they would pick these lesser known characters and like
Right. Right.
I
Yeah, and
don't get
it's
it.
sort of like Guardians of the Galaxy, that whole franchise had
Perfect example.
lesser known characters that
Perfect
they were
example.
able, with the writing and the directing, they were able
Yep.
to elevate to something more than what it was.
Yep.
So it's not impossible to really grab a character that was never really a uh, huge thing in the Marvel universe and make it something more than it was.
Right.
But you're kind of stacking the deck against you if that's all you have.
Mhm.
If you kind of shuffle those in with the bigger hits like Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, X-Men, you if you got your sure hits within that, you kind of carry along the lesser known hits that you could have.
Right.
Um and like both of us are saying, we have no idea how well written what's coming up ahead is, and we'll both be happy if they go beyond what we expect it to
I,
be. If they're like amazing stories, we'll be the first to admit, hey, we're wrong. The Ironheart's a brilliant show. We'll be overwhelmingly happy if that's the case.
I'm tentatively, I really need to shield myself from too much negativity toward Black Panther. Because I really want that to be awesome. Like the Black Panther that came out was like one of a kind. It turns out it was extra one of a kind because uh, Chad Boseman died. He passed
Mhm.
away in real life, and that sucks. That really
Yeah.
sucks because we're there's nothing, there's nowhere you can go where there's no amount of CGI. There's nothing. It's over, you know. So
Mhm.
I don't know. We'll see. Like I saw the trailer, and it's supposed to be like the big setup is Namor, and that's his introduction,
Yeah. Yeah, and
as well as this. And like I don't
I
know. We'll
know,
see.
I know a lot of people don't like Namor or don't have a attachment to him. I love the character Namor, so I was excited about the Wakanda Forever trailer.
Mhm.
I was excited. To be honest, I was one of the few that wasn't blown away by the first Black Panther movie. Watching the trailer for the new one, I was kind of excited. I
All
kind of
right.
wanted to see where this one leads. The last one seemed like I I I'm less interested in the origin story. And that was just mainly just another origin story, character story arc,
Right.
that kind of hit the beats that normally does.
Sure.
And it was interesting. But yeah, I'm kind of excited about the second one, and I was
All
kind
right.
of interested by it by the trailer. But again, trailer doesn't make a movie, so
No,
let's
no.
let's let's see the movie.
Yeah, and I really liked from the standpoint of like even the secondary characters like Killmonger, and some other like getting into
Mhm.
the weeds a little bit more on the Black Panther side. And what I've been saving it up for is to like go back and read up on the comic books that they're based on and the different really
Mhm.
good story. Just pull out the 10 best storylines from Black Panther and read them. But I really enjoyed the movie. I loved it. You know, like I did see they were going to do Mike Marvel's What If season 2. That's not on this list per se, but like I'm excited for
Mhm.
that. And
What?
and and What If it is the perfect vehicle for all these like weirdo storylines, even alternative twists on the character. That's exactly what If is in the comic book. So like
Mhm.
I don't see how they could ever F up What If. And like I enjoyed the of all the Marvel ones that we got in the last phase or whatever the hell it is, like on the small screen. That was probably one that I loved the most.
Yeah.
Just because I watched it from beginning to end.
Mhm.
I still have yet to catch up on WandaVision and Loki and the other one with Captain America and Agent Shield or whatever. I still have
Mhm.
yet to go back and maybe I will, maybe I won't. But yeah, I some of the stuff is kind of like, all right, we'll see how it goes. But the other
Mhm.
thing I want to say, when you mentioned this one, was just because they say they announced this, there might be some shenanigans with if they even produce some of these later on down the road. We'll see. But
Mhm. Yeah.
because they could easily cut off Daredevil, that's my fear. Like they're going to cut off something good and known, for in favor of something that might not be as whatever. But you know, they're the boss, and we'll see. I don't know. Like anything else or did we cover everything? Or what you wanted to? You were
Yeah,
rolling
I
through the
think.
list there. What about Agatha and like? What the hell is that? Did you even know? Or like you covered? I think you got a lot more in depth on the Marvel Comic Con stuff than I did.
Yeah, Agatha is the villain from the One Vision series. So
Okay.
yeah,
Let's
that
see.
sort of ties into that. And yeah, that's why I want them to get Fantastic Four into the mix. I mean,
I agree.
Fantastic
Yeah,
Four has a lot of the characters built into that series. Like Black Panther came from Fantastic Four. It would have been great to have Fantastic Four to lead into Black Panther. Uh, Fantastic Four leads into Doctor Doom. He leads into
very true.
Silver Surfer. He leads into Galactus. I mean, I mean, Galactus should have a whole phase
I
for him.
I agree.
He's
Like he is. It's ridiculous that. Well, I don't know, but I don't know. But they kind of. I don't know. I'm not the these things. These things are kind of like there's a diminishing returns that we're experiencing now. I think. And it's very telling. It's not even about if it's good or bad at this point. There's just so much out there. Even the
yeah.
normies are like I saw even the normies like some of the Facebook meme groups that I'm part of, like now they're starting to make jokes at the expense of like the latest Marvel. Like they don't even go into
Mhm,
details. They're just like kind of making fun of like just how many there are and just like how many
mhm,
people are just like can take it or leave it, and they're most are leaving it, and they're
mhm.
not. Of course, this could
Yeah.
all be any one of these things that I've just said could easily reset everything as soon as it crosses over $1 billion. But we haven't
Mhm,
seen that in a
yeah.
while, and it's kind of starting to
Yeah,
maybe
we're at the tipping point. I think with Star Wars, we're in the the sense that I don't see us seeing another Star Wars movie for another 5 years or so. I really don't.
that'd probably be good.
I
It's
see
a good
like
thing,
maybe a few series to try to build Star Wars back up on Disney
right?
Plus to the point where there's a movie. But I think we're at the tipping point where we really need a great uh Marvel movie to make everybody excited about Marvel movies again. I think that there's still that hope and that excitement for another Marvel movie that's still there that
Right,
can be ignited. But right, there's that the disenfranchised, that there's that side of people that are wanting to turn against it because they've been burned.
right.
So you really have to woo that audience back over, and I think they're hoping that that's going to be with the new Black Panther movie, and hopefully with Guardian of the Galaxy,
I,
which hopefully it does win them back over, but who
yeah,
knows?
same. And there's some dark horses here, literally laid. I just want that to just be that I'm gonna go see that in the theater no matter what. I don't really care. That's one of the ones I like where I won't hold out on. I more than likely will be excited enough to go see it in the theater,
Mhm.
and just have a good time around it. But like, I don't think, and Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I'll probably go see as well in the theater. But anything else, like,
Yeah,
I'll hit it up later on Disney Plus, if
there
at all.
really should have been a Fantastic Four movie or a X-Men movie in this phase. There really should have been. And it's really disappointing not to see that. Um
Agreed.
I'm excited about Daredevil.
Right. That
But
too. Yep. Yeah, there's a couple things here that have attention for sure. I agree. And you're right about the and I don't know if we want to cover it or not, but well, probably not, but like I'll just mention it in passing, which is they may or may not be doing something with X-Men, but calling it the mutants or something. I don't know, but like I'm not gonna hang my
yeah.
head on that because like really nobody knows shit. And that's just
Right.
people speculating. So it like I
Mhm.
really don't want to. We're not that kind of a channel anyway. But like I'll mention
Right.
it in passing, like where it kind of seems like that's like the exit ramp that they're taking on the highway of Marvel,
Yeah.
potentially. But we'll see. We'll see.
Mhm.
We'll embrace it as it comes. But
Yeah, and
it
who
was,
knows what they have in their back pocket? Maybe they'll spring a Fantastic Four movie or an X-Men movie out of nowhere to
and that will.
us, and
And
yeah.
you know what? I bet that they are keeping that. Well, let's just hope.
Mhm.
Let's be hopeful and give the benefit of the doubt that they secretly are working on something. And this is just like all this is the front of the store, but in the back of the store they got something cool
Mhm.
going on. Like just in case like any one of this crap just like caves in on itself and it flops. Because some of
Right.
these, it's gonna flop. Some of these are like right now they've kind of had the Marvel okay movie was still entertaining and good, and you still went to the theater and saw it regardless to be part of the conversation or to whatever, or you because there's a draw there. But this stuff, just by nature of what it is, it's not they're not all gonna hit like they used to.
Mhm.
But that's to be expected anyway. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
Anyway, and I think that this is the one I couldn't find your original link, but
Mhm.
for shame on me. But I did find something about Marvel Zombies as part of this, or unless you want me to go back and there's anything else to cover for the bigger Marvel
No, no,
picture.
I think that yeah, they've got the Marvel Zombies series coming out for What If. Um, the only thing I have concerns with is that like the major characters for it are not major characters. I forget who all they've got picked for it, but they weren't like standouts for me.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah, I
see.
think.
I do vividly remember going back and reading the Marvel Zombie storyline in the
Mhm,
comic books, and it was friggin' good. It was
mhm,
great, and it was written as a like a one-off. Has nothing to do with the big main universe or main storylines. It was just like a special series that they went through, and that was it. You know, it was exactly that. It was more made in the vein of like a what if kind of thing. They kind of spiraled out. I think I don't know the whole history and background, but I hope they nail it. Because like I'm down. I'll watch it. But like I said, I didn't have I love the what if series, and I think that they did it for the most part. They did a pretty good job. They had a couple misses on the episodes, the first season. But have
yeah.
you ever have you gone back and read the comic book storyline?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Yeah, if you look, yeah, the yeah, with that lineup of various Marvel characters there,
That's
there's
North
not
Star.
yeah, there's not like
Or,
a
uh,
big standout. I mean, Shang-Chi, I mean, okay.
yeah, I don't know about this.
Kate Bishop, I mean,
Yeah, I don't know about this. Like, I don't know why they need to do this, because they could just like just call it, just spin it off from like what if, make it its own thing, and then you can draw in all the main characters, and like who gives a shit, you know? Like that's exactly what the comic book did. Like they did,
right,
they
but
did they, they didn't.
it looks like those are the major characters of the survivors is Shang-Chi, Katie Chan, Death Diller, Kate Bishop, Jimmy
Yeah,
Woo,
none of those people.
Ilana Belova,
Yeah, none
Red
of those
Guardian.
people were the primary characters at the end of Marvel Zombies in the comic book storyline at
No,
all. Like
no.
none of these, none of these guys. And I'm not saying maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, but come on, man. Like, why can't you just like stop trying to? Well, I mean, this is what they're doing is they're trying to like
Mhm,
each one of these could potentially be its own series, or like number like even if you divided by three and you grouped them up, like they've been doing like lately, like with Doctor Strange and Spider-Man and Doctor Strange's own movie, you know, like they
mhm,
had that cameo. They're hitting
mhm.
that cameo thing really hard. But I don't know. Who knows? We'll see. Like we'll see.
Right, right. So yeah, that's what I was saying about the secret invasion and different storylines. It's like it really depends on your characters and characters how they interact with each other. So if you line up your series with these unknown characters or lesser known characters, you really have your you have things stacked against you as
Right.
far as
You're going extra uphill than you could have
abs-
otherwise, because
absolutely,
I agree with it,
absolutely.
and that's why I don't understand why to
I mean,
me it's kind of like
come on, put Ghost Rider in there. Put
right,
Ghost Rider, and that
somebody,
blows up all the characters. You know
right,
that just elevates everything. Come
right.
on.
Well, and that's the thing is like it's kind of like in one side they're very fan Marvel Disney Marvel fan centric, and like they assume that you're a smart audience, right? But then again they don't,
Mhm,
because they do dumb stuff like this. Like, and what I mean by that is, okay, So you expect everybody out there to be up on every friggin' storyline that you put out. So you're going to give the audience credit for that, right? Or
Mhm.
that's the expectation that everybody can follow this whole storyline from like the first 30 films until the next 30 films or whatever, and not even touching the small screen stuff. You're going to expect people to do that. But when you have a friggin' perfect vehicle for what if, that you can make that could be a whole goddamn genre unto itself. You
Mhm.
could do what if, Marvel, Disney Marvel, what if Captain America, like where it's all weird and it's all different. And they could experiment, and if it makes money, keep it, do something with it. But you have this whole other built-in thing, but you're not giving the audience to be smart enough to maybe accept that as a vehicle, like a live action pivot, like with what if. There's all kind, like there's infinite things that you can do with what if. It like literally,
Yeah.
I feel like
Mhm.
they're stubbing their toe for the, like, to kind of piggyback on and say, like, why aren't they doing X-Men or Fantastic Four or like Galactus or like big name ones? They're talking about Kang.
Mhm.
Kang was never a big villain. That's a more recent thing, and that's fine. I'm just saying, but like, there's a hell of a lot more history with Galactus as the big baddie than like, whatever, and then they do the Eternals, and like nobody knows shit about the Eternals. Like even
Mhm.
regular comic book fans don't.
Mhm.
That was never a thing. Like it proves your point about why are you picking these lesser characters and trying to prop them up, like when you could like just one, like give me Ghost Rider, or what. Yeah, I agree. I totally
Mhm.
agree. Yeah.
Well,
Anyway, it's like,
it's kind of, and I'll step up on my soapbox and say that there's, I think they want a, uh, plug in the keyword diverse characters. They want
right.
that diverse range of characters, but you have to have a storyline to
Back it up.
and characters to support that.
Mhm.
X-Men was always, at least with the reboot that Chris Claremont did with the X-Men, it was always about diversity and
Right.
having a wide range of characters that were interesting characters that you kind of sink your teeth into and that
Right.
you wanted to know about. Whereas if you just throw up a kind of paint by number group of people that kind of look interesting, that you really don't know anything about, that are like sort of archetypal characters that aren't good or bad or have um anything kind of controversial about the characters,
Right.
then they all seem kind of bland and kind of, even though they may be diverse, they're very bland and there's nothing to kind of sink your teeth into. Whereas X-Men were always about a group of characters that were very interesting, very diverse, but very flawed. I mean, every single one of the X-Men were flawed characters in some respect,
Right.
and that's why they were always my favorite characters. And I don't see that with a lot of the newer characters that they're trying to introduce into the universe. They seem
Yeah.
to be more or less sort of like the everyday Joe kind of character.
Right.
But maybe they're a different race, maybe they're a different gender, and
They
maybe
they
it's sort of like
and again, and this is what the frustration is like, look, nobody here has an issue with making something a little bit different, maybe a little weird.
Mhm.
Nobody, both of you and I, for a fact, I know for a goddamn fact that we are not like that at all. Like, I mean, we are like that. Like, we're like, we're cool. Like, we're grown ups. We can take it. But like, you have like, I just feel like that they
yeah,
could have
yeah,
used
it's
what
like
if as a vehicle to explore like really
Mhm.
fucking far out weird things, and if they stick, great. Then make it a fucking
Mhm.
Marvel what if genre series for this version of like whatever. You can totally do that and still maintain the integrity of everything else and not piss off like a whole bunch of I
Mhm.
just don't understand. Like, I don't understand.
Mhm.
I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I
I'm right
was
there with you.
my when I was a young preteen kid that was in love with the X-Men. My X-Men leader was Storm. It was when Storm was punk. She had the shaved mohawk, and she was the leader of the X-Men. And I had no trouble with that. I loved the X-Men. I loved the fact that Storm was the leader of the X-Men. Uh, so yeah, come at me, bro.
No, preach. I was too. Like, I really like that punk aesthetic, and like how Storm always has been a strong female leader and character that's built into X-Men. So again, this kind of goes back to like what my point was about What If, and I agree with you completely. You already have really good storylines for whatever group you want to attack it from that's more modern and has those sensibilities and whatnot. Then I agree completely.
Yeah. It's
Sorry, I
yeah.
just had a little camera hiccup here.
Oh yeah, no
Anyway,
problem. Yeah.
yeah, but no, I agree. I totally agree. Like they have like they're leaving money on the table, and strategy on the table, which I don't understand. But maybe we can always be, always the optimist, and maybe they're holding out in the back pocket, and they're gonna do. The only other X-Men thing I was gonna say was they did announce, and I haven't dug into this at all, but they did announce X-Men 97, some kind of animated something's coming with that, and we'll see.
Yeah, and
Like
I think they're going to do a Spider-Man Year One as well.
all right, I'm
Animated
down with
series.
this
Mhm.
this one. This one is dope. I remember watching this on Saturday morning, whatever, and following it and loving it, all that good stuff.
Mhm.
So I think you're going to twist it up a little bit here, and that's fine. Whatever they do is whatever they do. We'll see if it's good or not. But like, I agree. Like, they're doing it here on the thing, like kind of like as a. I was just surprised to hear this and not hear some more concrete X-Men. I don't
Right,
know.
right.
It was just
They're
interesting.
yeah, they're kind of leaving money on the table with X-Men, which
Absolutely agree.
maybe they're kind of holding in their back pocket, trying to build it up, try to do it right, whereas it's been done wrong quite a few times in the past, which makes sense. But yeah, hopefully it'll hold out too long.
Cool. All right. Well, we kind of beat a dead horse a little bit, but
I think so. I
anyway,
think so. Yeah.
what's the next one that you wanted to cover?
What else do we have? Yeah, just
We
click.
got John Wick. Then we got Todd McFarlane. Then we have a little bit more covering of that. Well, I guess we could kind of bump this up and like anything to kind of.
Yeah, I think that's sort of like just kind of reinforcing what we were saying as far
Okay.
as trailers and whatnot. That's what they introduced.
Cool. All right. Yeah. We already covered that handily. For sure. John Wick.
Yeah.
Might as well jump in.
Yep. There's not a whole lot to say, but yeah, it's good to see a
I
new
gotta check
John
out this
Wick
trailer.
movie.
There was so
Yeah.
much good stuff that came out, and just to talk about too.
hmm
For sure. Cool. Yeah. So the trailer was good, or did you see the whole trailer, whatever?
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah,
Okay. Cool.
it seems to be kind of following along with
John
part
Wick.
3. Yeah,
Awesome.
it's John Wick. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, always good with that. Always love Keanu Reeves. The last Matrix didn't quite hit all that great, but whatever.
Yeah.
It didn't splat against the wall like some other franchises, that's for sure. I'll
Yep.
say that.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
and
think
that's I think we already talked
yeah, we
about
did.
that. Yeah.
We had a Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, there's a new series coming out on Paramount Plus. There was a new movie uh that came out on Paramount Plus I think last month. Did you watch the movie?
I did not yet. I've been saving it. But
Yeah, it wasn't the best in the world, but it's Beavis Butthead. It was enjoyable. I watched it with
entertaining.
my with one of my brother-in-laws, and
All right.
I think we both enjoyed it. And then
Cool.
this one, the new series, you know how the original series they watched MTV music
Mhm.
videos, but it looks like they'll be watching social media stuff like TikTok
Oh,
videos
I'm
and
down.
making comments on it, which makes makes absolutely perfect sense to me.
Knowing my judge, I will be here for. I will 100% show up day one for this for sure. Like that. Now that I understand that they're gonna do TikTok videos, holy shit, there's a
Mhm.
gold mine out there for it. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. And can it in that same vein, can I interest you in pink sauce? And
I heard about that.
yeah,
I heard about that monstrosity that happened, and
yeah.
some miscommunication, small business owner being attacked. Da, 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 da. Well, oh, by the way, the Food and FDA or FDA Food Drug Administration is actually, in fact, the name of the. So, oh man,
Yeah.
people are braver than I to order some kind of food product off of some trend. I don't know.
Yeah. Order pink sauce that the key ingredients were milk and honey, and sending it to the customer in sort of like a, I guess, kind of flimsy packaging without any refrigeration with milk and honey. Okay. You want to kill your customers?
Right, right. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah. So yeah, that was
Yeah,
kind of
I'll throw
interesting.
that in there so folks can catch up on what the hell we're talking about. But yeah.
Right.
Yeah, this was
Yeah. Don't touch the pink sauce.
yeah, don't order it. Like that's I was gonna kind of make fun of the suburbs because like the burbs have their own trends that roll in, that everybody gets excited about, whether it's
Mhm.
kid related or not. It's kind of funny. Like this is like one of those freak TikTok things that popped up that's just got awful. Like
Yeah.
don't just don't
Yeah,
bother.
just don't. Just don't.
Don't, yeah, don't do it. Oh, you're getting into the boys. The boys, Herogasm crossover. What's this one about?
Yeah, just a kind of minor thing that came up. There was a TV show in the early 2010s called Down, and evidently the people that were catering the Herogasm in that episode were wearing the same outfits that
Huh.
the Party Down caterers from that show were wearing, and they asked the creators of the boys if that was a direct connection, and they said yes.
That's
That
awesome.
there's sort of an unofficial yeah, connection between it, and evidently that Party Down show is getting they're starting it up again, so
Huh.
they're with, I think, most of the same characters, the Adam Scott and Jane Lynch was in the original series. I don't know
All
if
right.
she'll be in the revival or not, but yeah, I there's only 2 seasons of Party Down, and if you could find copies of that on DVD, or I don't know if it's streaming somewhere. I think it was originally on Stars.
Yeah, it's
If you could
probably
watch,
on their service more than likely.
yeah, if you watch that, it's a really good show. I really
All right.
enjoyed it.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
that's probably why it's kind of tied in with the boys. It's quality stuff. So
Awesome.
just
Good shit.
just FYI for those that enjoy the boys and were fans of Party Down.
Yeah, and just to kind of thread the needle here with my there is the speaking on the boys and going to my thing, if unless there's anything else you wanted to cover for the Party Down Herogasm crossover, I was gonna
No.
say there is this I saw it on the Reddit, on the subreddit, the boys, um and Amazon Prime put out like a potential future one. Basically, college kids, they're gonna call it Gen V. Don't know anything else other than that, other than like they did like a quick little, they did all the actors and they all did like some kind of tongue in cheek kind of like, I'm Gen V, I'm Gen V, and they're all like young, young looking college kids or whatever. So
Mhm.
they're doing something with this, like a live action something or other. But not much more I know that than they, other than they teased it, and I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm
Yeah.
not sure that there's weight there, but
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not. I don't know.
Yeah. The boys have good faith for us as long
Yep.
as they have faith. So once they mess it up, that's when we start sizing them. But until they they break that faith with us, we'll definitely take a look at the new stuff that they
Yeah.
offer us.
It has. They definitely have won enough acclaim and credit with me to like check this out and like maybe.
Mhm.
I will say this. I don't think the little teaser thing that they put out like was like honestly all that compelling. Like because you're kind of just like, what am I? What's the hook? And like this does a better job of explaining like it's just like a irreverent take on this, just like how they do it with that. But we'll see.
Mhm.
Like with the Hunger Games, like we'll see. Because
Yeah.
there's gonna be knowing the boys brand has gore and it's not afraid to
Mhm.
jump
Yeah.
in deep with that. But anyway, not
Yeah,
much more
and
to
I
cover.
don't know if you saw the animated series that they had off of the
I,
boys
I've been
on
saving that.
Amazon.
Yeah, I've been saving that off for
Mhm.
my brother-in-law did, and we covered the boys on our other show on our podcast, the State of the Giants, and I really haven't talked about it here, but he has seen it, and he was his take, and we're not dissimilar for many things we like, but it was like it never really caught fire with him, and I was gonna maybe kind of sort of revisit it, but have you seen it from beginning to end or
Yeah.
whatever?
Well, it's kind of an anthology, so
Mm.
every episode is different. So
Okay.
there's some hit and misses. There's a few that were like major hits that I really loved, and then there
All
was
right.
some that I really didn't like. But one of the major hits, I think I mentioned it before on here, was that Garth Ennis, the original creator of The Boys, wrote one of the episodes
Okay.
and wrote it like the characters in the comic book,
Okay.
and they animated it like the comic book, and that one was really quite enjoyable. So
Awesome.
if you just watch that one, that would probably be good. But there's
All
like
right.
one or two more I would definitely recommend.
So
But yeah, go ahead.
it sounds like it's kind of like the What If season one of Marvel,
Hmm.
kind of like where
Yeah.
there were some friggin' really good episodes, and there were like ones that were like, eh.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All
There's
right.
some that they gave to a certain person to check the check marks, so to
Right. Check the
speak.
box. Box checking.
Yeah.
Word
Yeah.
up. Word up. Cool. Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. I always wanted a little bit more on that, but nobody's talking about it. It never caught fire on the YouTubes, or pop culture or whatever. The nerds really
Hmm.
didn't get into it, but we'll see. That's
Hmm.
also another reason, the ulterior motive that I have for saving it is like when in a few months when I get the boys withdrawal, when I get the Temp V
Hmm.
withdrawal or whatever, whatever addict type phrase you would use, I'm gonna break it open and watch it, for lack of
Yeah.
other than it's boys adjacent. Anyway, cool.
Right.
Cool. We had Butthead confused. Oh, we did that one. Chris Nolan, Oppenheimer.
Yeah. Yeah. I just thought I'd bring that up. That
Okay.
he had a teaser trailer that came out recently. I
Was
know
it good?
you're a I haven't seen it. It's
All
just
right.
in the theaters, so you have to
Okay. Oh,
go see a
all
movie
right.
to actually see it.
All right. Word up. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't. I heard seen headlines, but I hadn't seen. I didn't know that it was out. We'll see. Well, okay. I'm a big Chris Nolan fan for sure. And that alone, I'll probably find some quiet time this weekend, and maybe I can go see it, or wait till Tuesday, like when they had the $5 shifts in the afternoon.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah. I
cool.
think it looks like they're showing it in Jordan Peele's Nope
Okay.
movie. Which I tend
I'm
to like
excited for
Jordan
that one.
Peele. Yeah, the Jordan Peele movies. I tend to like. I really love to Get Out, and then his other movie Us
Okay.
was a very flawed movie. I don't know if you've seen it. very
Uh-uh.
flawed movie, but I really enjoyed it for whatever reason.
This I think I'm gonna wait to see this with a friend, with a family member. I'm probably want to see it then. But I did see the trailer for this, and it hit all the bells and whistles for me to pay attention,
Mhm,
and like, because it's got sci-fi, a little bit of psychological something going on there, a little bit of horror, something along those lines. I don't know.
mhm,
But
yeah.
I need to go back and see some of his movies because I've heard good things about. I've heard good things about them in general. I haven't really heard anything bad.
Mhm,
So but that would
yeah.
be cool.
Mhm.
Cool. Awesome. Comic-Con. Oh, see, there's where the zombie one was. It was hiding. It was
Yeah.
hiding.
Yeah, yeah, it
Put that
snuck
up
up
there.
on us like a zombie will do.
It's true. True.
Yeah.
Uh, and then yeah, I did kind of see a little talk about this over the last week or so, about DC. That Snyder, and there was I didn't see the video yet, but there was some rumor. Well, you fill in the gaps here. What's up with this one?
Yeah, I think the DC is just trying to distance themselves from Snyder and the SnyderVerse and everything, because it's there's a lot of bad stuff that tied to the SnyderVerse, like
Mm,
what's his name, or their name, Ezra Miller, and
mm-hmm. Right.
the guy that played Cyborg. He's been causing a lot of disturbances,
He's
and
pretty
yeah,
much all but been fired essentially. Like, I haven't
yeah.
heard anything. I've kind of heard the song and dance a little bit, but I'm not
Hmm.
familiar intimately, other than like he just thought certain things weren't going his way, and he I don't know. I don't know. Nothing. But he's what is the Office Space scene is not gonna work here anymore.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it looks like they're shutting the door and quietly saying goodbye to the Snyderverse, which
That's
I
crazy.
can't say I'm surprised or disappointed by that.
Right. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
I think we both enjoyed the Snyder version cut for what it was. And I don't think that I think well, whatever happened with this, but it was good entertainment anyway. Kind of a
Mhm.
cool different take on it, like his
Mhm.
big long cut of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was a nice indulgent kind of 4 hour movie that you watch streaming, but yeah, I don't know if I'd enjoyed it in the theater.
Word. Yeah. Next one up that we had was this
Berserker.
Berserker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves, he came out with a comic book that kind of blew up. It was introduced into Indiegogo, and it made a bunch of money in Indiegogo because everybody likes Keanu Reeves, everybody likes comic books, so the comic book made a big splash. There was a bit of controversy because all these other comic book creators were like, "Oh, but you're taking all this money away from our little niche comic book ideas that no one would really fund normally, but you're taking money away from us." So Boom Studios, that did the Berserker comic book, ended up having to give out money to all these various indie comic books on Indiegogo
Okay.
as a handout to to them,
It's pretty dumb.
because they did so well. But Berserker did so well that the idea kind of ignited a fire and has kind of caused them to actually do a movie about the idea as well, which I think will make a kind of a cool idea for a movie. It's basically Keanu Reeves as the major character, which is this
Okay.
immortal warrior that can't be destroyed, and that the U.S. is using as a ultimate machine.
Huh.
And
Interesting.
they it's sort of like the comic book is sort of like an examination of where he came from, his origins, and where he's going from there. But yeah, it's kind of a of this ultimate warrior kind of thing,
All
and
right.
it's I think it will make a cool movie,
I'll have to
another
check it
cool
out.
vehicle for Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, I could care less about guilt trips. Guilt
Yeah.
trips for like whatever. Like, no, no, no,
Mhm.
no, boo boo. We don't do that. We don't do that.
Yeah.
You got to rise or fall on your own merits. And like,
Mhm.
there's infinite money out there. You just have to create something, and if it's good, and of note, people will pick it up. And if it's not, then I don't know. I'm not. I don't pretend to be a creator at all, but
Yeah.
I know whining when I hear it. Okay, boomer. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Word. Yeah, there's always room at the table for new content, new storylines and stuff, but you got to earn it. Um,
Yep.
and God bless the people out there who grind every day for that kind of thing. I was going to say, speaking of indie comics, I think that might be a good point to kind of pivot and check in with Rippaverse. And I just
Mhm.
wanted to kind of cover this because I've followed him quite a bit throughout the thing, but his latest update was that they in fact were shipping the actual comic books out. And I did kind of follow a little bit of the drama with PayPal, and basically broken down as
Mhm.
international folks that wanted this comic book, Rippaverse, ISOM #1. They
Mhm.
paid. They Rippaverse used PayPal for the international customers, and it was a not insignificant amount of folks. I think he said 30% or
Mhm.
something. But then
Mhm.
PayPal was being douchey and like big corporate, and basically locked his money up and said, we're in fact gonna, there was some back and forth like where they would release the money to him because it was already paid. It wasn't like a
Mhm.
pre-order or pre-sales or anything. It was just straight up, pay for this, here's your shipping date, everything above board. And PayPal, through their infinite clown shoes, they put on both their clown shoes on the wrong feet, and they've been sucking wind and sucking big time because like they're holding that money. I guess their justification is that he's a newer company or whatever, despite the
Mhm.
fact that he's provided all the documentation. He's been as compliant as he could possibly be as a business could be, but
Mhm.
PayPal's still being big gangsters, and they're holding his money inappropriately.
Mhm.
And that's kind of like the big drama there. But anyway, he's kind of gone out.
Mhm.
And he's like the last update that I saw was like that if you don't get with the program and give they're interfering here, and they're sticking their nose in something that doesn't belong, and
Mhm.
they have no justification.
Yeah.
There's no standard
Yeah,
policy
I think
but they're going to get lawyers involved if they don't and to quote
yeah.
Eric July, you better come up off that bread.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, to kind of color this in a little bit more, I think it's like a little over $1 million
Yeah,
is being tied up.
right.
Their position is that
1.3
it's
almost.
yeah, it's pre-ordered material, so it's their stance is that it's not something that's readily available, and blah blah blah.
Right,
Whereas
which is not
that's
true at all.
totally, it's not true in the sense that I've ordered things through PayPal,
Mhm,
uh, through to this internet company Mega 64. I've ordered
mhm.
several of their Blu-rays that weren't in production yet, that were pre-orders that I pre-ordered through PayPal to get, that they eventually shipped out. So they do pre-orders, and
Right.
even for smaller companies. So they're trying to pull a fast one
Yep.
on Ripa on this one, and then
Yeah.
just it, it's kind of disgusting.
It is, and I'll go out on a limb here, and like, shame on you, PayPal. Shame on you for not for doing this. Like, not that anybody's going to see this, but if they do, I'll like, shame on you. Like, just stop getting in the way of the fans and the creator. Get your big
Mhm.
clown shoes out of the way. Get out of the way, man.
Mhm.
Like, like like
Yeah,
it's stupid.
and from the interview that I saw with him, he said that it's not gonna stop him from getting the comic books out to the people.
Hmm.
It's just gonna hold up the process as far as doing the things that he wants to do for the next
Right.
issue or future endeavors with that money. He's reinvesting that money into the company, so
Yep.
it's just keeping that money from being useful for the furthering of his company.
Right. Exactly. Yep. Just kind of do like a little thing here. Yeah. The only thing I would say to Ripperverse is like, man, your camera. Sometimes when you get on your live stream and your camera, like it does this weird focus thing. Like, please fix that. But aside from that, like minor gripe or critique, like it's all good. And I'm looking forward to putting an order in and getting one. And then at some point we'll pull that into the show and we'll cover it.
Yeah.
More than likely, for sure. Because I'm just excited that this could be a thing, and I've been following along with this ever since
Yeah.
his debut week, where he went live. But anyway, kind of going into that. I think we had Berserker. Then I think we're about ready to hit. Well, you want to hit the GTA thing up, or
Yeah,
before we
it's
head
kind
into
of
recommends?
yeah. That's this whole thing about GTA 6.
What's going
There's
on
a
with
lot of
this?
people trying to say that they're getting woke on the new one, I didn't actually read this article just because I just wanted to pull one just to touch on this, because there's a lot of YouTube channels talking about it,
Covering it,
about how
sure.
woke it's gotten, but basically there's not clear cut information. There's a lot of rumors on what's coming up, but I
Right.
think what may be true is that one or the main character, or it could be like the past GTA 5 where there was three characters.
Mhm.
The new main character may be a female Latina character, which doesn't make the series woke. I
No,
mean,
not at all.
that's kind of crazy. So I would have no trouble with playing it as a Latina female character in
Yeah.
the GTA series. I can't see the series just going straight PC, and I think the whole big controversy that they're trying to stir up is just for clicks on
Oh,
YouTube,
whatever.
and it's just kind of silly.
Poor shit.
So I just wanted to point that out, the hypocrisy of the whole thing.
Right. Yeah.
And
No. No.
that
Like.
you don't know until you know. I mean,
Right.
the game could come out and it could be completely quote woke and not a good game, but we don't know until we actually play it.
Yeah, it's an institution now, and it's been that way. Shit, I know kids a little bit older than my kids, like that, it's still popular. They still jump online and play games like back in the day when I would jump online and play SOCOM or even the first Modern Warfare 2 or whatever. Like when they changed over to the first iteration of Call of Duty without being World War II, which they pounded to death.
Mhm.
Word. Okay, cool. I was gonna say, uh, oh, that's not it. No. Oh, yeah. We can go into. I guess we can go in. What was this? The GamerGate. Just like a little look at it past history.
Oh, that one. I recommended that to you.
Okay.
Just basically that one's kind of a fun one if you were ever kind of interested in. Have you ever heard the term Gamergate?
I did. I
This
didn't get in depth with it, but I did follow it from afar of like some of the bigger Anesia's. I shit, her name's like really weird. I can't pronounce it. I'm butchering it, but
Sarkeesian, yeah.
yeah, it's Sarkeesian or whatever. Yeah, I
uh,
kind of heard the drama, like little friggin' drama.
and Zoe Quinn, yeah. This
Oh
is kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
this guy Clifton Duncan. He's evidently he's an actor, but he's just started a podcast that he's
Okay.
just interviewing different countercultural people, just interesting people. In this particular podcast, he interviews Mr. Metokur, which is
Okay.
a major player in the Gamergate
Okay.
thing, and it's kind of an interesting discussion as far as um that they touch upon cancel culture and a lot of various things, and they're both very intelligent people that have a very intelligent discussion about these things, and you may be interested in hearing what they say about things.
Sure.
May not be for everybody, but
No.
give it a listen, and if it's cool, then it's cool.
Yeah, and well, we're all critical thinkers and we're all individuals. So, use your critical thinking cap and watch something or not, and whatever. That I'll definitely check this out because I like it, like when the internet covers itself kind of thing. And back in 2014, that was back when, not quite when social justice warrior, I think, became a term of art, and woke. That was back in that era too.
Yeah, it's
It was
sort
like
of
the
like the
very beginnings.
the very beginning of all that stuff. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's been with us for a long time. Okay, and dipping back into this, did you want to do your YouTube recommendation for this week?
Sure.
Cool. And this that's Man Cave. We kind of talked about that. Oh, excuse me, Spawn Wave. What is up with this? Like, all right, this looks
Spawn
cool.
Wave. He's a cool guy. He yeah, he doesn't have a hot take. He's not one of those hot take guys, so you don't have to worry about what his political leanings are. He never touches upon that.
Right.
He's just he's all about video game news.
Okay,
And so
that's
yeah,
awesome.
if you're kind of interested in what's going on, and he used to work in a video game repair store, so he's used to repairing video game
Okay.
systems. So there's a few, if you scroll through, he does sort of like break down, take apart of like various third party game controllers, or when a new console comes out, he'll break down and take it apart and kind of tells you the pros and cons of that
Huh.
system. And but yeah, and then he just covers like he reviews various games, and he gives you news as far as what's coming out. And I think once a week,
Awesome.
him and one and a few of his pals do a podcast once a
Mhm.
week. So, and that's always kind of fun to watch. He's a kind of, he's not like overbearing personality. He's a really likable kind of guy. So it's I've always enjoyed watching his stuff. As far as if I want to know what's new with games, he's my go-to guy.
Very cool. Cool. Always good to have options for sure. Like that's cool. Like where you can just jump in and see the thing. Yeah, I'm like that too. Like I'm pretty heavy on YouTube for my entertainment and news and all that stuff nowadays, and it's just good to like find the YouTubers that get to the point and like kind of leave all the drama off to the side, unless
Absolutely.
there's something notable to report on or whatever. But
Right.
that's where it kind of go. Well, and with that being said, I'm gonna recommend two, because to kind of ease into this is a softball one. I might have mentioned this guy in the past, but Emergency Awesome is, I think I actually have recommended this before, but it's just a good pop culture take, kind of a normie with a little bit of deeper level nerd service ingrained in every video. But like, if you ever have a question or you don't quite know what the hell's going on in Disney Marvel because it's so wide and ranging and whatever,
Mhm.
all he does is just kind of cover like what's up with this. And if you want to go into the series, he'll usually cover that if it's more popular. But it's
Mhm.
totally based on it. But I'll go to him if I don't know what the hell's going on in this kind of universe or whatever. This, not even hot take. It's just like, it's just covering the, it's just kind of like this would be like E Entertainment, kind of like their show, like where they had their new show that the buzz in Hollywood. But anyway, that's one. And then the other one that I wanted to shout out was Nerdrotic, which I've talked about here and there. More importantly, and I just like his takes. He has criticism, and it's usually backed up with solid commentary. It's not just because it's whatever. He'll go into the weeds here or there. Like I would say that his kind of main thing is like he'll cover more popular things, but he is a comic book shop owner in the past, and
Mhm.
he just has very well balanced, good opinion takes. I disagree with him on some things, but for the most part, if he doesn't like something, like he'll have good the videos that he has weight behind are mainly he's been covering the Rings of Power one, and that's just because he's a Tolkien super fan. And he has some cred there, as much as a fan can anyway, but a super
Right.
fan can. But so it's not just like I don't like this because of whatever. No. It's like in depth, kind of takes on some stuff, and it's just he's just good entertaining. I used to not like him, but he's kind of warmed up to me like over the last couple years, or anyway, not much to say other than that. But with that, did you have anything else that you wanted to recommend this week or whatever?
Yeah, I don't know if you have a kind of thumb or kind of bookmark, but there's gonna be maybe a reboot of Max Headroom. I think I sent
Oh
you
yeah,
the
that's
link
right.
for
Yeah,
that.
I did have that. Yep, I had that way at the top. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So Christopher Cantwell, he's doing a fantastic job at Marvel, doing a writing Iron Man, and is going to do a run on Namor. He also did
Okay.
the great AMC series *Halt and Catch Fire*. He's looking to do a reboot of Max Headroom
Really?
with Matt Fuhrer,
Huh.
which is the original Max Headroom, and I loved the original series. It only ran, I think, only about 13 or so episodes. I have all of them on DVD, uh, and I absolutely, this is sort of like my underground love. I love Max Headroom, so I'm looking forward to this. I may be the only one, but hey.
Sure.
But yeah, back in the day, he did the commercials for Coca-Cola, which a lot of people may remember him from.
Yep.
But yeah, the TV series is near and dear to my heart. So if and Christopher, well, I have to say he's kind of endeared me with his nerd nerd love for the various things he's done. So I can't see where this would go wrong. So
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, and this made its way into Back to the Future as well.
mhm,
In like a little thing, and like I did see a documentary on it on the tubes on the YouTubes. This is cool.
mhm.
Hope it's good. Hope it's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Maybe they'll create a next room multiverse.
Oh yeah, for sure. Why not? Why not? Yeah, I think the only other thing I want to kind of tail end and cover was I was the House of the Dragon, the official trailer. It was
Mhm,
actually I mean, it got me excited for it. Like I was really nervous and worried about this, and it's kind of been on ice. And we've heard that there's like they optioned 5 new series, and then they kind of shredded, rolled that down to like what they picked, and they kind of rolled it back, rolled it here and there. But now they're finally getting traction with whatever the hell they're gonna do. And the House of the Dragon is, I think it's just covering like 1,000 years before or whatever the hell before Game of Thrones happened, and it was a House Targaryen and kind of
mhm.
that whole thing, the Valerians, or I think whatever, I can't remember the name of the thing anyway. I'm excited for it anyway. Like the trailer
Yeah.
was really good. And I'm down. So like I'm excited for that.
Mhm.
That just really should have
Yeah,
gone on.
fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. I'm hoping. And then the one of the shows I've been watching currently that I didn't watch the newest episode, but Westworld. I'm really
Oh
enjoying
yeah.
that.
I need to get into that.
Um,
I need to get back
mhm.
into it. Like
Yeah,
I left
and
season 2, 1 or 2, like anyway, but it's good.
yeah, and that's a show that I want to say that is really good, and the I think three of the main characters are really strong
Mhm.
women. Two of them are black women, and that's one of the things I want to say is with these new IPs that Westworld is based on an old movie
Right.
that's very tangentially related to this series. So basically, you could do whatever you want with the series.
Mhm.
It's not really tied to that previous movie. But when you're dealing with a new IP, you can do all these crazy new things with these characters, and as long as you have great stories and great characters, it
That's right.
really doesn't matter who they are, and you can really create very engaging stories. And I'm really enjoying the third season. I think I like it much better than the second season.
Okay.
um and maybe is this the third or fourth season of this?
Season,
I
season. I don't.
Yeah,
Season
fourth
three. Yeah,
season. Yeah, or
yeah.
fourth season, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Whatever. But it's all good. It's
Yeah,
all. Yeah, you're right.
yeah,
Season four.
it's
Yeah.
season four. Yeah. So yeah, I think I enjoyed the first season. Season 2 and 3 were sort of kind of in the middle for me, but this latest season's been really good,
Awesome.
and I've been really enjoying it. But yeah, that just shows you that you can have a new IP with new ideas that are really engaging and really
Right.
fantastic, and have really interesting characters. And it really doesn't matter who those characters are, as long as they're interesting and engaging.
Right. Right. Yep. No. This kind of goes back to like the standard high shelf quality from HBO. In
Mhm.
general, aside from their anti-fan practices on YouTube. That's okay. We still love you, HBO. We still will cover your stuff. But yeah, this I've heard this and I have seen this and I liked it. Wasn't like amazing or anything like that, but it was hell of a lot better than Watchmen
Mhm.
was, which I kind of saw here down the like this thing never took off, and it was tangentially kind of sort of related to that stuff. True Detective is good. Game of
Mhm.
Thrones is good. This one I never got into, but I know a couple people that like swear by it. It's kind of
Mhm.
like a upper scale, kind of more modern day Mad Men kind of sort of thing. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but I tried to get
Mhm.
into it, but it was a little bit. We'll see. It
Yeah.
wasn't to my taste,
Yeah.
but that
Yeah, and
doesn't mean it's
also
not good. You
yeah,
know,
and
it's up
also
to
with Westworld, their secret weapon is Jeffrey Wright. Jeffrey Wright is really great actor.
awesome.
He's yeah, he has that yeah, he plays
Boo.
Bernard Lowe in it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's good. He's a great actor. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
right. Well,
he's sort of like one of those actors that are kind of understated. He doesn't stand out, but he's always good at anything that he does. And in this one, in this latest season, he's incredible in it.
awesome.
So
Yeah.
but he's only been focused in on one episodes that I've seen so far. But
Okay.
yeah, he's he really kind of blows you away.
Awesome. Awesome. Cool. Cool. All right. Well, I think that kind of wraps a bow up on everything for like we
Mhm.
this is an extra special long show, and we're so happy if you stayed all the way to the end.
Mhm.
We invite you to like, subscribe, please share our works out there, and then we'll return on Monday, August 1st, with our
Mhm.
main show, and we have a very special guest as well as a
Mhm.
movie that we'll be covering, The Haunting,
Mhm.
and with a special guest. Well, I'll just tease it a little bit, but
Mhm.
I'm really looking forward to that, and talking about
Mhm.
that movie because it's
Yep.
1962,
Mhm.
and we're gonna get back on track with that, and then we'll be back next week with our normal schedule, as it were. But this is summer, and we both do have day jobs, so to speak, or day night jobs, and in any case, this was a big episode this week, but
Yeah, yeah. I had
we
a lot
covered
to
a lot of
cover.
ground.
Yeah.
We did, yeah, a lot of exciting, good, cool stuff out there coming up, and we might do a follow up to a lot of these, as we keep track of things.
Mhm.
But in any case, I've been Mike,
And I'm Thomas.
and we'll see you next time.
See it.